Guys Talking Ball podcast back again for another week, coming to you live on a Tuesday. We got the club going up on a
On a
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
That's right, and we will be a little bit of a programming note before we fully dive in here. We will probably be going to a Thursday,
Tuesday.
to a Tuesday show. We'll be going live on Tuesday as next week it is Thanksgiving, so nobody really wants to sit there, spend their Wednesday, their blackout Wednesday, listening to us. So we're gonna come on a Tuesday, maybe.
Pause.
Well, pause.
Pause.
uh, but yeah, we'll be coming live on a Tuesday, potentially a Thursday, and then the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, I start City League basketball, so that'll be my Wednesday. So we'll be going on Wednesday, and then once softball starts, we'll be going back to a Wednesday recording as softball is always on a Tuesday. So we got that. It is got a good show here. We've got to start, though, with the big news that came out. And I didn't even tell. Oh, and I will say Ethan will be joining us here in a little bit. His prep work for his record-breaking 15th colonoscopy this year is he's getting the prep work done for that. So that's when he will be. That's why he's running a little bit behind.
Yeah, he just had a couple more trips to the restroom he had to use.
Yeah.
And it's not treating the poor guy well.
No. But when you have that many, you start to question: is it because of health, or is it because he enjoys it?
I think he's starting to enjoy it. I think he's slightly aroused when he goes to the doctor's office, knowing that the doctor can kind of put him to sleep a little bit, and then they have to take a rod and insert it up a cavity.
Yeah, I believe they've actually they've gotten to know each other so well. He actually afterwards buys him dinner. I'm not sure about the how long it takes you can eat afterwards, but he has mentioned that he is able to buy him dinner.
Well, and knowing Ethan, the guy probably bought him a whiskey too.
Yeah. He definitely did.
Took him out to the
I think
whiskey
he does
bar.
that before because I think it helps to clean him out.
That makes sense. This is why you're here, Dylan. You're forward thinking.
I am. And you know who else potentially might be forward thinking, Grant?
I'm all ears.
Okay. Potentially the Virginia Tech Hokies, as it was announced on Monday that they have hired former Penn State Vanderbilt head coach James Franklin to be their new head coach for the 2026 season. There was a lot of speculation that this was happening, and it sounds like there was a lot of back and forth for the last couple of weeks. It sounds like both parties were interested, and they both needed to iron out the details. Which, I mean, James Franklin wasn't getting a bad paycheck to get paid, but I think to be a college football coach, you have to have a certain level of sicko-ness in you. Because, I mean, most normal people, if they get paid $49 million to not work, yep, sign me up. I will sit there and collect that check till I run out. But James Franklin is back, and I think this is a good hire for the Hokies. I think Virginia Tech, they have fallen on hard times. They've really struggled to maintain that level of consistency that they had under Frank Beamer. Fuente had a couple of good years, or a couple of years, the coach that they hired after they fired Fuente. There's a lot of hype going into last year's season where they returned 20 of their 22 starters, and it just did not work out, and it was clearly not going to work this year, so they wanted to get ahead of it, and they go out and get one of the top coaches on the market. And people can say what they want. Yeah, he didn't win the big game, which he didn't. But you look at the program that he had to take over, where they were in a bowl ban. They had all the Joe Paterno, Jerry Sandusky situation that he had to navigate through. He was able to maintain the recruits. He's a great recruiter. You go look. They've got high classes. The knock on him is that he can't win the big game. He couldn't beat Michigan. He couldn't beat Ohio State. Well, nobody were beating those teams in those years. But obviously after you lose to Oregon and then you go to lose to UCLA and Northwestern and it falls apart, there was evidence that you had to make the change. And the good news is James Franklin's going to the ACC, and he's not going to have to face that high level of competition that is in the Big Ten. You're not going to face, week in, week out, a Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana. You won't have those teams. It's a very hot garbage conference right now at the moment. Clemson's down. Right now the in-state rival Virginia is having a really good year. As Grant, you were close. It was 5. You said 5 minutes. It was 6 minutes. Ethan, welcome on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We are currently discussing the James Franklin hiring at Virginia Tech here. So, I guess I've kind of said my spiel on it. I like the hiring. Where are your guys' thoughts on it?
Honestly, I think it's a home run. I don't know how much they can do better. It's a very similar job to like a Vanderbilt, where obviously Franklin had a hell of a job before going up to Penn State. It's going to do a lot of recruiting. Like I already saw a bunch of recruits are reacting extremely well to it. They're going to get their. I'm going to turn the TV down. They're going to get the 4-star quarterback from Penn State to come down. They're going to flip him. Like I think they could flip quite a few Penn State commits, honestly. And
they're going to a good
start.
I think a lot of those Penn State commits that decommitted are going to end up at Virginia Tech.
Yep.
And
not when you're going to stay at Penn State, I don't think.
You could very well see him, guys, getting. Call me crazy. I think a top 20 class just off those ratings from those old Penn State players.
Yeah. Well, there's a kid from Triton here in Minnesota, 4-star tight end. I mean, he's skinny as heck. He's going to have to put on probably 30 pounds before he touches the field. But committed to Penn State. He's already got offered today. He already has plans to go down there this weekend. Like, how many guys that's probably going to happen to here in the next week? So
you're going to see 20 guys with official visits or unofficial visits. To
Virginia for sure.
In the next week, 25 to 30 guys.
Absolutely.
And I'm with you guys. I think it's a great hire. I think this is the kind of program he needs. I think James does his best work building something from the ground up. And Dylan, like you said, he can never win the big game at Penn State. Virginia Tech, they're just happy to be involved in big games. And if you go 9-3, 10-2 in the ACC, that could get you in the college football playoff. That could get you in the conference championship game. And there's a lot of good recruiting areas in that Virginia, Maryland, DC area. So he'll be able to get a good roster and I think turn this thing around real fast. And, hopefully over these last 8 weeks since he's been fired, he sat back and he said, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. We did this well. Well, I got to figure this out now at Virginia Tech. And it could work out well for him. And I think that the big thing, hiring a good offensive coordinator, because that was what he was missing the whole time.
The revolving door.
The revolving door of offensive coordinators. Because was it Joe Moorhead? Was he their most successful one before he went to be a head coach at Mississippi State, if I'm not mistaken?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they hired the Minnesota OC. He lasted a year.
That's right. Let him go.
Yeah.
Or he quit, took a new job, or whatever happened there. But yeah, and he's the perfect person to come in and truly build something from the ground up. And all his players love him. I mean, look what happened after he got fired. You had former Penn State players left and right saying how great of a person he was. We love playing for him. He's a player's coach. And you know what? Good for Virginia Tech for getting ahead and not waiting on the whole Lane Kiffin debacle. Like that's what's happening at Florida and LSU. Because these two schools very well might put all their eggs in the Lane Kiffin basket and might come up with nothing. And now it's like, okay, who's truly the best option out there? Is Eli Drinkwitz really better? Is John, the guy at Tulane, is he going to want to go to Tulane to LSU? So good for Virginia Tech getting ahead of it and getting a good coach on the market, where you can start this thing going before the winter transfer portal window opens as well.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a huge part. And like you guys talked about, like the ability to where he's going to flip the recruits, because I mean, Penn State, they finally got their first win since they fired James Franklin. And right now, I mean, the talk was going to be Matt Rule, but Matt Rule signed an extension. That's the other part of it too, is like you see all these coaches signing extensions. I'm very curious to see what those actually mean. Give it a year or two when another job comes calling and where they go. I'm very curious to see what that looks like, because how they will,
like Ethan always says, the extension doesn't mean anything. It just makes the buyout bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is, are these schools going to agree to these $49 million? I mean, yes, Penn State did not have to pay that. They paid $9 million. But are they going to agree to these giant buyouts too, which, to be honest with you, I wouldn't. If you want to leave, fine, leave. But I'm not going to. It's like 58. No, like, it's stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you don't want to be at SMU or Arizona State, if I'm that university and this extension is the only thing keeping you there, just go.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting your time and you're wasting our time. Just go.
Or the coach will probably never agree to this, but you can have a big buyout for if you're going to leave on your own, but if you're fired, you're not going to get shit, which the coaches would probably never agree to that. But it's something I would at least look at.
Yes. So, fellas, then let's get into it. And as in fashion, we'll see if you guys can figure out how I figured out the order this week.
I'm on a 2-week heater.
Yes, so we'll see if you can figure this one out. And with the first pick, it is going to be Grant.
Now, what helmet was that, Dylan?
That was the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
The next pick is going to be the Saints, Ethan. And to round it out, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is me. So, have you guys figured that out?
Is it the last team they played in the NFC Championship? Or like their championship game?
Last playoff victory?
Correct. Look at that. Grant is on a heater.
Let's go, boys.
Playoffs.
Grant just might have to light up a cigarette. So, Grant, you're leading us off here, and I'm making an executive decision here.
Dude, I have the house to myself. I could light up a smoke. What's Alec going to say? He's not here.
Yeah, that's true. Unless he's tuning in, he won't know.
Stay tuned.
And just remember, if there is anybody watching and does tell us, snitches get stitches. But Grant, I am calling an audible here. And can you tell us why your team of the week is the Cleveland Browns for finally playing Shedeur Sanders?
Because whatever people want on social media is what they want in real life and what's best for society. So the Browns finally got that. We're going to throw up the watch like Kyle Hamilton. But no, I have nothing good to say about the Cleveland Browns. So sorry for your hot route, Dylan. But hey, Shedeur Sanders, you know what he did prove? He proved the haters wrong. You know what that was? Being a 5th round pick was too high. He should have went undrafted.
I watch it when I don't watch the Red Zone like where I have it on my big screen. I have it on one of my smaller TVs, and I just kind of keep an eye on it of see what's going on. Just the whole thing of him running out and like pumping the crowd up. Like, you're a 5th round pick. You haven't. Why are you like? I've never seen a 1st round quarterback run onto the field and pump the crowd up. Maybe Johnny Manziel didn't. It obviously didn't work out. And how did it work out for him? It didn't. And then like just the ball washing on social media. Did you guys see Josina Anderson's tweets? Like,
yes.
I don't know, Grant, if you saw it, but she has a tweet out there of his one, like, it's tweeted out as against all odds 3rd and 10 completion to extend a drive, which he throws it's 3rd and 10. He throws the ball 2 yards past the line of scrimmage to Jerry Jeudy, and Jerry Jeudy morphs into 2018 Alabama Jerry Jeudy, makes about 4 or 5 guys miss to get the first down. It was nothing that Shadur Sanders did.
No.
And then it's also just the whine. He never got any first-team reps. Well, they're starting a rookie quarterback who probably shouldn't be a starter, which is the Browns' own doing because they decided to give
Joe Flacco away.
Joe Flacco away, and then Nasty Man, who has torn his Achilles twice, and so why would you take away? Because if you give Shadur first-team reps, you're taking away reps from the starter who needs all the reps he can get. Like these people that are like, even like people that have played in the NFL, talking about how, he's just set up to fail. It's like Shadur Sanders in his life, this is the first time he's actually playing football because he's not playing daddy ball, because this is the first time in his life he's ever actually had to compete for something. He's been given the starting job at every stop has been because daddy has been his head coach.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right, and like I said, it's not like he's received well in the Cleveland locker room. It's not like these guys are out there looking for him. And you know what? The Browns are 2-8. They're on their way to getting another quarterback in the first round this year and maybe a new head coach. So I hope Shadur enjoys his time in Cleveland this year because it's going to be gone. New regime's going to come in, new general manager, new head coach, new president of football operations, or whatever the hell that title is, because now this guy's going to really, really ruin the Colorado Rockies, even though they can't get much worse than what they are. So it's like, I hope you enjoy your 5 minutes while it lasted, buddy, because it's over fast.
And I've seen like the videos of him. It's like what they show like a clip of the offensive line where blocking, and it's like, well, what is this Browns offensive line doing? Well, they don't show the part before that where Shadur is shifting the coverage completely the wrong way, and he gets creamed. And also, he's played the same way he played in Colorado, where it's, he's in the pocket and he drifts back and drops back and doesn't know when to get rid of the ball. But we've talked enough about this 5th round backup. So, Grant, who is your Week 11 team of the week?
Well, my team of the week also plays in the AFC, but it is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The big thing, coming off just an absolute embarrassing loss the week before. Like Dylan, I told you last week, you're up 29-10 against Davis Mills, and you blow that game. That's the loss of the loss in the NFL. And they came out on Sunday and they absolutely smashed the Chargers. Sure, the Chargers flying across 3 time zones, playing that early window, but the Chargers looked like they didn't want to be there. You just look at the stat line from this game. The Jaguars had 30 first downs. The Chargers had 8. The Chargers all day had 3 yards of offense per play. 135 yards to 345 total yards at all. Like, this was just an absolute ass kicking. And maybe Justin Herbert and some of those Chargers players still have some PTSD from that playoff game in Jacksonville a couple of years ago. But, I mean, the Jags, they came out and they smoked these guys. They did to the Chargers what Jim Harbaugh wants his team to do to other teams. And it was impressive to see, especially coming off after that loss. New head coach, first-year head coach, how's Liam Cohen going to get his team to react and come back and flush that? And they did a masterful job this week. So I got to give credit to where credit is due, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, that was impressive. I think some of this the Chargers, it's the the factors that you mentioned. Their O-line just being
offensive line is awful.
When Trevor Penning is discussed as your best offensive lineman, you're not going to have much success. But Ethan, we'll go over to you. Who do you got for your Week 11 team of the week?
I'm going to go back to my notes. I'm going to go with the Eagles, actually. They didn't play great, but they really kept the Lions just completely off balance. Didn't get the run game going ever. The only offense they really had was dumping it off to Gibbs and letting him go like full Barry Sanders out there, just dodging people left and right. They got the offense moving a little bit better. I still have major concerns about Jalen Hurts just in general. He has looked awful for the better part of the last 2 months outside of the 3 throws versus the Vikings. But yeah, I mean, otherwise their defense is looking good. I think that Jalen Phillips trade probably going to be the best move all season. Really solidifies them with an edge rusher. Jalen Carter's back. God dang it, what's their other big guy's name? Jordan Davis. Is that his name?
Yep.
He's looking good. He had a hell of a game, 3 pass breakups. So that defense is getting healthy and they're getting better. And honestly, they're only going to get better when Jalen Phillips starts getting more touches. Or more snaps, I should say.
Well, and he had his best year in Miami when Vic Fangio was his defensive coordinator before he blew his Achilles out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a match made in heaven with him and Vic.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Nope. But my team of the week is going to be the Denver Broncos. Going into this game, they felt a lot like they were last year's Chiefs. They're not playing great. Bo Nix is not playing very well, and they keep somehow finding a way to win the game. But this game was a different story. I thought he actually played really well. Defensively, they moved the ball, and then they ended up having to settle for field goals. But the Broncos defense was doing the same thing to the Chiefs offense. So sometimes that's all you're going to need are some field goals. Defensively, they took advantage of some horrible Mahomes decisions, and they were able to convert on third down. That big one right before that set up the field goal. And also the big thing was no turnovers. They did not turn the ball over. They were able to force. Did they force 1 or 2? I think was it just the one? They had the one that was called back. That's right.
Yeah, just the one. Just the one.
Okay. But when you win the turnover battle, you play good defense, you tackle well. You put yourself in position to win a lot of games here. So that's why the Broncos are my team of the week. So we'll go to disappointing team. And since I already did the Broncos, I talked a little bit about that game. I'll leave it open for one of you two to choose the Chiefs here. But my Week 11 disappointing team is going to be the team that Ethan's team of the week played. And that's going to be the Detroit Lions. Now, I thought that defensively they played about as good of a game since Dan Campbell has been the head coach. They did everything they could to keep the Lions in this game. But it's going to fall more so. My disappointing is going to be Dan Campbell and the inability, because judging by the weather, it did not look like it was favorable conditions. And it was just going to be a sloppy, ugly night where points are going to be hard to come by. And, we know Dan Campbell, he's built this team on toughness, grit, being aggressive. But at some point, you got to be able to read the room, and you got to be able to look at the game and be like, you know what? Maybe sometimes field goals might be our best option. They did a good job of getting Jahmyr Gibbs the ball and getting into field goal range and then continuously going for it. And they go 0 for 5 on fourth down. And they try the fake punt that wasn't working, didn't work. Luckily, the defense held them to 0 points. But at some point, you got to look like you just got to figure out, 3 points isn't bad. And if they kick a field goal on one of those other possessions, they might have an opportunity to go and get the ball and win this game and or potentially play for a tie, because was the final score, was it 16-9?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if they kick 2 field goals on one of those fourth downs, it is a 16-15 game. Also, the Jamison Williams didn't help either. So, I mean, it could have been a 16-16 game and it goes to overtime and who knows what happens. So and maybe we start to see that, taking the points isn't a bad thing. But the Lions were my disappointing team of the week. So, Ethan, who is your Week 11 disappointing team of the week?
I was actually going to take Dan Campbell as my disappointing person of the week. So thank you for covering that. I'm going to go with the team that won.
I got you.
But they keep playing just down to their opponent and just much worse than what they're supposed to be, and that's the Packers. Like, despite they lost the first 2 versus the Browns and then Carolina. They did pull this one out versus the Giants, obviously, but it just looks horrible. Like their offense, I mean, outside of Christian Watson saving them, didn't do anything all game. Now they're probably not going to have Jacobs for at least a week. It's just like, I don't know where this offense is going to come from. Jordan Love has been okay, hasn't been fantastic. But yeah, their defense still looks solid. They're not fantastic like I think everyone predicted them to be. They're still really good, top 10. But it's just wild how inconsistent this offense is and just how inconsistent they are versus really every bad team they played so far.
Yep. And thankful for a poor Jameis Winston decision that bailed him out. Because
that was a Jameson. He just stopped running the route.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think he catches it, but it's certainly not a pick.
But Grant, who is your disappointing team of the week?
So I'm gonna single in on one player, and it's the same story as it is with this guy in big games. It's got to be Sam Darnold, and the Seattle Seahawks guys,
particularly in LA,
especially in LA and against the Rams. 4 interceptions and 0 touchdown passes. Sam, if you want to show everyone you're a changed man and you can truly lead someone in the playoffs, this can't be happening at 3:05 on a Sunday in Week 11.
Honestly, even if he throws 2 picks, they probably win that game.
Absolutely, and that's the disappointing thing of it for him, where it's like you throw 4, but your defense still fights, scratches and claws, and Stafford has barely over 200 yards passing in this game. Sure, he had 2 touchdowns, but it's not like
he didn't even have 150 yards. He had 130.
No, I mean, it's not like the Rams lit the world on fire. No. Besides their defense, but it's like, Sam, you got to take this next step, because I'm guessing in this contract, I'm not saying Seattle's going to move off of him, but if you have a couple more games like this here late in the year and come playoff time where you again shit the bed, it's like, are we just talking about Sam Darnold in September, October, early November, and then right around Veterans Day when Call of Duty comes out, he starts to fade? Each year it's not what we thought he was, especially the 3 weeks before that. He was just lighting the world on fire. We're thinking Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to go for 2,000 yards. Sam's going to be throwing 40 touchdowns because he's throwing 5 a game. And he just, again, laid that egg, and he saw those proverbial ghosts on Sunday. And if you want to prove the Seahawks that you're here, go in and beat the Rams in their stadium. But nope, he went back to classic Sam and had those 4 picks and let his team down.
Yep. As a longtime NFL journalist said, Pete Prisco has said for a long time, you are what you are. But Grant, we'll stay with you. Yep, and we'll go down to the college ranks. And who is your Week 12 team of the week?
Guys, it has to be the Georgia Bulldogs. Them pretty much coming out saying, "Hey, we're here." Like we
never left.
They never left. It was a little shaky where there were some games this year where teams maybe hung around or they could have lost this game. Are they really into it? Is this team focused? Are they more worried about getting a check and driving those fast cars? But Georgia looks like they're coming around right now, and they look nasty. And Dylan, I don't know if I was telling you when we were talking last week or another friend I was talking about, but I said before last week I'm buying more stock in Georgia than I am that Alabama team.
Yeah, well, Georgia can run the ball.
Yep, Georgia can run the ball, and Georgia wants to run the ball. Alabama, in this offensive staff, Ryan Grubbs, he still thinks he has Michael Penix Jr., Polk, and Roma Dunze. You don't have that anymore. And this Georgia team, they're big, they're strong, they're physical. Their pass rush isn't as good as it used to be in years past, but that's also not fair when you're with those teams. You have 4 first-rounders on there. But Gunnar Stockton looks like Dylan, like you said, he looks like a Heisman player. He's the second best quarterback in the SEC right now, and they're gaining this confidence. And the last thing you want is a Kirby Smart team getting confident coming into November, right around playoff time. And you know what? The scariest thing for them, they might not have to play in an SEC championship game. So they're going to get hot. Their bodies can get right before this playoff stretch. And like what Kirby said this week, a lot of kids these days, they want to play for checks. Well, if you come to Georgia, you're going to be physical. We're going to beat you up, and then you're going to get a check on top of that. This was just a totally different. He wants football players.
Wants guys who want physicality, not a check. I'm like, give me that line every day of the week.
Yeah,
and twice on Sunday.
That Georgia team looked like a team full of football players, and that Texas team looked like a team of dudes who just went to Texas to get paid.
Yep. Yeah. So right now, I think, if everything goes as chalk, Georgia is done in the SEC or with SEC play because they have Charlotte this week, Georgia Tech next week, and then Ole Miss has
Mississippi State.
Ole Miss has Mississippi State left. Alabama has Auburn left, and that there's 3 teams at the top. So I'm curious to see because Alabama doesn't play Ole Miss this year, so it doesn't matter. But how would that work then?
Dylan, I think I heard, for whatever reason, if Alabama wins, they get in the SEC championship game.
All right, I think I got it.
Even if Ole Miss wins, I don't think they get in. So honestly, if I'm Ole Miss in Georgia, I'd rather finish the season, hypothetically speaking, 11-1 and not play in a conference championship game.
Yeah, get that extra week off. It's amazing what you can find with Google. So Texas A&M reaches SEC championship if they beat Texas or Auburn beats Alabama, Mississippi State beats Ole Miss. Alabama reaches SEC championship if they beat Auburn, Texas beat Texas A&M, or they beat Auburn, Mississippi State beats Ole Miss, or they beat Auburn, Alabama wins 3-way tie with Ole Miss, Georgia based on SEC opponent winning percentage. Georgia reaches SEC championship if Auburn beats Alabama, or Texas beats Texas A&M, or Ole Miss beats Mississippi State. Georgia wins 3-way tie with Alabama, Ole Miss based on SEC opponent win percentage. Ole Miss reaches SEC championship if they beat Mississippi State. Texas beats Texas A&M. Auburn beats Alabama. So there's actually a lot that needs to happen for Ole Miss. Alabama is still in the driver's seat on that. But yeah, and Georgia right now, I could play a little bit of devil's advocate with you, Grant, because the way this Georgia team is playing would potentially 2 weeks off hurt them the way they are playing, because you've seen it too where teams have they get some time off and they get a little bit out of sync, a little bit out of rhythm, and they end up losing that first game. But
that's fair, but those teams don't have Kirby Smart as their head coach.
Also true.
And I do think that second half Saturday night really propelled them, and now these players and these teams are truly bought in. Like, they were the cardiac dogs to start the year, but now they're putting it together. And when they get in these tough situations, like the Eagles, like the Chiefs of last year, they've been there, they've done that. They have championship DNA. They don't flinch.
Yeah. Their receivers are much improved as well. That is a big part this year to their success is that receiving course.
I think, Dylan, depending on how this Georgia season goes, we're going to look back and say it turned on those 2 4th down drives, or those 2 4th down plays, and then the onside kick. That was the turning point in their season right there.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Ethan, who is your Week 12 team of the week?
Georgia was up there. I'm going to another SEC team, Oklahoma.
Good choice.
Bryant Denny. And beating Alabama is never easy. I don't care who the heck you are. But they're starting to Oklahoma's starting to look like that team they were looking like prior to Mateer getting hurt. And that was a good team. They were looking like a top 6-7 type team. They're playing at that level again. That defense has always been good, but they kind of have that little bit of balance now better on the offensive end. So their defense isn't out there 24/7, and you're starting to see these wins versus obviously intense competition in the SEC. I don't think they can actually get into the actual SEC championship, but the playoffs are still a very real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. They got Mizzou this week, and then I don't know who they end the season with, but
LSU.
They also have. Okay. Well, that's not what the
is that
hype
at
that
home
we thought it was
road?
going to be.
Yeah, they're both at home.
Oh, that helps.
But they forced 3 turnovers. That's if anytime you do that and you're playing on the road, if you force 3 turnovers, you got a good chance to win. But my turn, and I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna go to the SEC. I'm gonna go over to the Big Ten out on the West Coast, and I'm gonna go with the Southern California Trojans. Now, the culture may be changing in LA. I think maybe Lincoln Riley has been listening to us and pointing out all of his flaws for the last. He's been at USC since we started this show, so maybe he's finally starting to listen to us. They were down 21-7 at halftime, and in previous years, it was wet, it was sloppy, it was rainy, it was against the Iowa team with a good defense. Most of the time, if Iowa has a 2-score lead, good luck. But this previous years, and this USC team under Lincoln Riley would have just laid down, died, and it would have been over. But they didn't. They fought back. They went back, took the lead. They shut Iowa out in the second half, and they go out and they score 19 unanswered to win. I think Lincoln Riley is finally realizing that his teams are at their best when they are running the ball. I think the defense is really good under D'Anton Lynn. I think he should be in the discussion to be a head coach somewhere potentially. And USC keeping their playoff hopes alive still with a chance to win, and they've got a big one coming up this week, which we'll probably be talking about here in a little bit. One of us, I'm sure, will, because it is your SEC Cupcake week this week. So there are not a lot of great games in college football this week. So we'll shift back up to the NFL for our Week 12 game of the week. And I'm going to go with, you know what? Why not? I'm going to go with the Monday night game, the Christian McCaffrey Bowl, some are calling it. Actually, I'm just kidding. I don't know if anybody's calling that. Panthers versus 49ers. Purdy is back. He looked really good. Just absolutely dog walked Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals. Where Dylan was right, Jacoby Brissett, even though he did set a record for completions, but He career backup, nothing more, nothing less. But can the Panthers put together a solid game against a good team? You know, they're going to be facing a tough test in the Robert Salah defense, and be curious to see what he does to shut down the run, because if Rico Dowell isn't playing well, the Panthers are not playing well. And can Bryce put together a good game against a good team? It seems like he's turned that corner of where he handles the bad teams. And he plays sometimes okay against good teams. We just need to see it at a consistent level. I also have a stat for you. The Panthers record is 6-5 right now. 6-0 when they win the coin toss, 0-5 when they lose the coin toss. So we might know what the outcome of this game is going to be before this game even kicks off.
Pretty cool.
That's an impressive stat. That's an impressive stat, Dylan.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
It is your turn, Ethan.
I'm going to go Colts and Chiefs. Chiefs need to figure it out. It's go time for them. 5-5. I think they're fine. Right, Grant? 5-5?
5-5.
Yeah. They lost some games they should have won. Colts, on the other hand, just coming off a big loss versus the Rams a couple weeks ago. Jones didn't look good. How's he going to look at Mile High? My God, I'm just Arrowhead. Jeez, I'm all over the place tonight. But tough environment, probably the toughest place he's going to play all year. And is it going to be cold? Or is it going to be decent weather?
I think it's going to be in the mid-40s.
Okay, so not terrible.
Not terrible, but you know, the Colts are an indoor team.
Yep. And then can they get the run game going? Can the Chiefs stop Jonathan Taylor, which very few have? But it's mostly just can Mahomes play better.
High of 62 on Sunday in Kansas City.
Never mind.
So and sunny. So it's I don't.
That favors them
unless there's wind that we don't know about. I think weather conditions are favorable for both teams.
Yeah, but no, Mahomes needs to get it together. He did not look good last week. I don't know if it's just he's trying to make plays that he doesn't need to make. He's not taking the easy ones. I have no idea. But he needs to run the offense, move the ball, because they just can't consistently 3 and out or just chuck it deep and hope for the best, because that's pretty much what they did on Sunday.
Yeah, I think.
And the defense is horrible. The pass rush is non-existent, which we thought was going to be a strength, and Karlaftis hasn't been good. Nobody has been really consistent this year for the Chiefs. But Grant, we'll kick it to you. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I was just going to say, those first 2 years after the Tyreek Hill trade, when they didn't have that deep threat, he had such cohesion with his wide receivers, and they were dominating the underneath routes. They're not dominating those this year. And you can tell this offense is stuck in the mud because they have no rhythm. And also this week, people don't realize this, going up against an old foe in Lou Amarillo. Colts defensive coordinator spent a lot of time in Cincinnati as the D coordinator. So it's like, the Chiefs and Colts, they might play once every 3 years, once every other year, but Amarillo's now gone up. What is this going to be? His 6th game in the last 4 seasons against Kansas City?
A lot.
So it's a very, very familiar foes with each other. So it'll be interesting to see how that chess piece goes out in this game as well.
Yes. So Grant, we'll stay with you. Who is your what is your Week 12 game of the week for the NFL?
Like you said, kind of a bad slate of games this weekend.
It's horrible.
It's brutal, guys. I'm gonna go Sunday night. Bucks going across the country to play the Rams. Tampa Bay was the cardiac kids to start the year with all those fourth quarter comebacks, all the injuries. Baker was going to be the MVP. We thought this team was to be untouchable, 6-2 going into the bye. Well, it looks like they've kind of came back down to reality just a little bit. Maybe these injuries are catching up to them. Right now, the Bucs are 6-4, and Carolina's nipping at their heels at 6-5. You're going across. You're playing a possible 1 seed in the NFC on Sunday Night Football. Can the Bucs come around and prove that, hey, we were the team weeks 1 through 8, 1 through 9 this year, and then also can the Rams on the national stage let the world know, hey, don't forget about us, and we're here to play, and we're gonna let everybody know that Sunday night in our house, if the NFC has to come through SoFi, you're not going to want to come here to play. So, and I think there's a good possibility we could see these teams play again. So I'll be curious to see, does Bowles throw everything out at Stafford that he has right now? Does McVay go all out trying to keep up with the Eagles? A lot of different chess pieces going on in this game, and I think it's going to be a good one.
As long as the Rams promise to never wear those ugly-ass black uniforms again. That's probably why that game was as close as it was, with Sam Darnold giving you 4 turnovers. The shitty black uniforms were the equalizer, or the neutralizer of that. But yes, that will be a great game. Grant, we will stay with you. And what is your Week 13 Beth Mowins game of the week?
So actually, I'm sticking in the NFL with my Beth Mullins game of the week here.
Oh, is he?
And it's the Cleveland Browns versus the Las Vegas Raiders at 3:25 on Sunday afternoon.
The Shadur Sanders led Cleveland Browns, Grant. You don't forget that.
Going up against a defense he might have some success against. But I'm truly worried against this Browns defense. The Raiders might not get 50 yards of offense in this game.
It will not be pretty. It might be that Vikings Raiders game back in 23 ugly.
Yeah, what, 6 to 3, something like that?
3-0. It was 3-0.
3-0. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah,
jeepers. Like, for the Raiders, you draft Ashton Genty 6 overall, and you rush him 6 times on Monday night against putrid Dallas defense.
Oh, we're so back. I can't believe. Don't you talk. Disrespect the Cowboys defense. I will say this we are back.
Them not running Genty. Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark are probably the best interior duo now in the league. So I can definitely understand trying to, I guess, go at the secondary a little bit. But at the end, Hooker's back. Overshown's back. Like, they're starting to get pieces back that they're not going to be nearly as bad as what they were.
No, I mean, you can't be much worse than what they were. But Grant, I will let you continue if you want to discuss this game any further.
Well, it's just and then also just the Browns offense and the lack of creativity that it shows out there each week. And now we got Shadur going out there trying to make a statement in Las Vegas. It's just the fact that this game isn't on Comedy Central blows my mind.
The Nickelodeon game of the week?
Yes.
True.
The head coach is getting the slime afterwards.
This has to be. Is this game in Vegas?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it'll be
At least I believe
which. Oh, wait, no, we got Cowboys Eagles. That might be good. I'm not holding my breath. But we've got some.
The main afternoon game is Cowboys Eagles.
Yes, we've got some doozies though for the afternoon slate, guys. After Cowboys Eagles, which ones are you guys pissed that you're not going to be getting? Jaguars Cardinals, Browns Raiders, Falcons Saints.
Well, I can get all of them now.
Oh, you got Sunday ticket?
I got an offer from YouTube TV, $48 for the rest of the year.
No shit.
And I'm pretty sure it's probably because they knew they screwed up with ESPN and everything, cutting it away. So now they're trying to buy people back. And I was like, you got me.
Yeah,
as Grant would say, you're coming home with me.
You're coming home with me.
But Ethan, what is your Beth Mowins game of the week?
It's a rivalry actually, bigger by basketball rivalry than football. And one of the teams is actually playing right now. Duke, North Carolina. It looks horrible. I believe it's in Chapel Hill this year. But yeah, I think Duke's like 5-5. UNC 4-6 or something. Just too bad.
Yeah, UNC teams. Needs to win out to get bowl eligibility.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not watching that one.
Yeah, if Duke and Carolina are playing and it's not basketball, I'm not turning it on.
No.
Correct. My Beth Mowins game of the week is going to be Central Florida versus Oklahoma State. Scott Frost versus whoever Oklahoma State's head coach. I think UCF is 4-6 right now. Oklahoma State's like 2-8. Ugly game. Not gonna watch. But guys, we'll stay here in college and we'll go to our Week 13 game of the week. And as the resident, as I said, there has not been a lot of great games this week. I mean, when I was going through it, I looked at I could maybe pinpoint 2. So, thankfully, being the FCS ball knower that I am, I'm going to my state to the west of me, and we got the Cat Grizz game. Grizz Cat, whatever you want to say. I think
you son of a bitch.
I think what I have to do though, and I think to be fair, because I know fans from both sides, and it's also very laughable because potentially because they actually think they have a shot at beating NDSU this year, which is really, really funny. But I think to be fair, since Montana State won the game last year, I think I got to call it the Cat Grizz game just for this year. Just for this year. Winner, what's at stake for this game? Obviously, bragging rights for the next potentially 3 weeks, because the winner of this game will get the 2 seed. The loser of this game will probably get the 3 seed, potentially setting up a semifinal matchup, the first ever playoff matchup against these 2 teams that they've never met in the playoffs. That is potentially what's at stake. Montana State, since starting the year 0-2, they've reeled off 9 straight wins. Right now, they look like the best team, or the second best team in the FCS, best team in the Big Sky. Winner gets the Big Sky Conference Championship. Montana has not lost. They've been very inconsistent. Probably could have lost a couple of weeks ago to Eastern Washington. Had to come back against UND. But they found a way to win every game. The game is in Missoula, so it is at Washington Grizzly Stadium, which would be awesome to go and check out. Go to a game there because it is the best atmosphere in college football. I've heard that from multiple people. I would love to experience it one of these days. Ayat is probably the best quarterback Houck has had since he's returned to Montana. Eli Gilman, the running back for the Grizzlies, is a heck of a runner. He's out of Minnesota, Minnesota native. Yep. And Brent Vegan, the Montana State head coach, he has never won in Missoula, has not played well in Missoula at all. The game really hasn't been close when the games are in Missoula when he has been the head coach so far. And you know what? To be fair, not many teams go into Missoula and play well. I'll give him that. But the big thing is Montana. They got to find a way to neutralize the crowd. Their quarterback Lamson, he's done a good job of not turning the ball over. He's only got 2 interceptions on the year. Montana's got to limit the balanced running attack that the Bobcats have. Montana State, they've got 3 players with over 500 yards rushing this year. But if we have to do a prediction here, you know what? I got to go with the Grizzlies just because I think I got to give Washington Grizzly their flowers. It's going to be a tough place to play. And until we see a Brent Vegan-led Montana State squad go in to Missoula and get a win, I cannot pick them to win. So give me the Grizz to win the Grizz Cat game after Saturday and give them home field advantage for the rest of through Nashville for the NDSU Invitational. So, Ethan, who is your team of the week or game of the week for college football?
Oh boy, I forgot to pick one. That's not good. Let's see.
Well, you know, I could just call an audible here, and since the rest of the games this week are dog water, we could just make the Grizz Cat Grizz game our unanimous Week 12, Week 13, Three Guys Talking Ball podcast game of the week.
Might as well. I'm done. I'm good with it.
Grant,
I can get on board with that.
You called me a son of a bitch, so you have to. So,
true.
Yeah, because these games, for the most part, aren't good. Oregon, USC, that doesn't get me excited. And also, game day had an opportunity to go to a new school, and they fumbled the bag.
Yes, they should have. They should have been in Missoula. They've never been to Missoula.
Yep.
They've been to
Bozeman.
Something that's not going to be even on their network. They're not allowed to broadcast. And I don't understand. I could maybe justify going to Ohio State since it was Lee Corso's last time ever putting on the headgear. But I always find it weird when they go to these games that are not
on ESPN.
In their network. Yes. So did you have any thoughts on this Montana State game, Grant?
Well, I know the fact that Grizzly Bears are bigger than Bobcats, so that's why I'm taking Montana to win this game.
All right, Ethan, who are you picking to win?
I'm gonna go Montana. It's hard to beat them at.
All right, it's a sweep.
Bozeman.
So the Cats are probably gonna win. But before we get to curveball of the week, do you guys have the Prep Bowl matchups? Because it is last week we did the Dakota Bowl. This week we the Prep Bowl for the Minnesota State football championships are going on. Before we get to that, Ethan, Ethan was at the Oregon Minnesota game. How was your first trip out to the Pacific Northwest? How was Autzen?
It lived up to the hype. The pregame was a little spotty, not gonna lie. It was a little awkward at first almost. Like, you know how their duck comes out on a motorcycle 99% of the time and comes out, I can't remember what song it is. But they brought him out earlier and like he was in like a little like paper cardboard airplane. It was like some like baby song playing. And we were all just like, what in the hell is the weirdest thing ever? And then I don't know, they took us 5 minutes, like they played some weird music, band standing there not playing. And then the duck finally came out on the motorcycle, team followed him, but it was just super the whole pregame was just awful. Like, to be honest, there was no flow. They did like their little walk or whatever from the buses to the football facility through like the practice facility and then into the stadium or whatever. But when they were outside before they got into the actual like indoor facility, there was no music, nothing. It was just fans standing there, landing, giving people high fives, but no music whatsoever, which the band was standing there right before at least the drum line and a few of the instruments were standing right out there playing. So I was like, why did they go inside when they're walking? It was just really random. And then the actual visitors stadium visitors locker room isn't in the stadium. So they have like a big ring around like the whole stadium. Then they have like a road inside of the stadium, and then they have these stairs that go straight up to the actual like seating area. So basically the Gophers just ride into that main road, and they just park. And then you literally can walk between where the coaches got out of the truck or out of the bus, all this stuff, right into the locker room that's not even attached to the actual facility. And then they walk down a hallway, which you could easily go touch these players. There is no security stopping people from like going and like touching or talking to the Gopher players as they walked into the actual field. And I thought it was the weirdest thing ever. I've never seen anything like it. Like no restrictions. Go ahead.
Maybe that's why Oregon has so much success at home.
It was just weird.
People are assaulting the visiting teams on their way in.
Like, it is. Fleck was even a little bit annoyed with it. Like Grant, I told you, like when we were there, we were standing and he walked in, we're like, "Hey, let's go, PJ." And like, he gave us a head nod and like gave us like a fist, like a thumbs up and everything walking in. But you could tell he was annoyed because he had 2 state troopers with him, and then his players are just like walking in and out. But like nobody was around Drake Lindsay. Like some guy tried to walk up to him. It's just like, what are we doing? Like,
it is Oregon, security. So you got to realize where you're at. Cops are bad up there. It's also a state that allows you to get crack out of a vending machine.
Just for like the stadium itself, the experience cool, but definitely some pretty big question marks at the same time.
Interesting. So do we have the Prep Bowl matchups?
I do. We're gonna go in order of how like the schedule of like the playing of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So Class 1A kicks off Friday at 10 a.m. Minnesota versus Breckenridge.
I got family friends that live in Breckenridge, so give me the Cowboys.
Grant?
I'm gonna take Minnesota, just by the sheer fact that I think they're the Vikings. They stole Augustana's logo. And I think they're going to steal this game from Breckenridge.
I'm going Minnesota too. They're just a freaking wagon in 1A. That was the first game when we moved to Minnesota. That was the first game me and my dad and my brother went to actually when we played them. And in Iowa, it's just like we ran it 50 times a game. We may do like 1 or 2 play action passes. We get up there and we're running a spread offense, 4 wideouts, quarterback's just slinging it. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on?
This isn't allowed. This isn't allowed. I was like,
what is this? Like, this is football? Like, what's going on? But so that was Minnesota. They've been good ever since then. Like, they've been good for the better part of 20 years. It's just insanity, the consistency they have, not just in football, but any sport. Women's volleyball, look that up. I mean, they've won like 6 titles in the last 10 years.
Jeez.
They're just a wagon, like I said. Class 4A, Orono versus Casson Manorville.
Orono versus Casson. Where are those schools at?
Orono is just outside of the cities. It's just the first city when you go west of Minneapolis. And Casson Manorville, isn't that between kind of like Rosemount?
Kind of down by Rochester.
Rochester, yeah, it's kind of in that area.
It's south of Rochester, yeah.
Oh, it's south of Rochester. Okay.
Which school is that you said?
Casson Manorville.
I know that Rosemont has the winged helmet, so give me Casson Manorville, and that's close to it, so why not?
Grant?
I'm gonna stick with the Metro here, and I'm gonna go Orono. Just because of the sheer fact that it's closer to me.
That's fair. I just like the Spartans, who is Orono, and their logo is actually pretty sick. So we're gonna go with Orono. I know nothing about these teams. Moving on to Class 2A, 4:00 kick. Jackson County Central versus Goodhue.
Are these all going to be played on Friday? How many games do they play on Friday?
There's 4 on Friday, 3 on Saturday.
3 on Saturday.
Okay. What is the which one is this?
Class 2A, Jackson County Central versus Goodhue.
Goodhue. Our starting running back, Region 4 Athlete of the Year, future NDSU wrestler. His name is Hugh. And he was good. So give me Goodhue to win it all.
That was good.
Thank you.
I'm going to go Jackson County Central, just sheer fact that it's a Southern Minnesota school, and we're going to stick with the 507. So give me Jackson County.
I'm going JCC. I think this is probably the biggest blowout in any game. They have Roman Voss, Gopher committed to Minnesota or Alabama. He's their quarterback, but he scored 5 touchdowns in the first quarter in the semifinals, and I don't think that's going to change much. So, yeah, Jackson County Central for the win. On to 7 p.m. kick, the granddaddy of them all, 6A, Edina versus Moorhead.
Well, I know these teams played earlier in the year. Jet Feeney returned
like 4 weeks ago. They were last game before the
playoffs. Edina's got a quarterback that's like the top pick in the NHL draft. Yes. But you know what? Kevin Feeney, he's won. I don't know much about Edina's head coach. I do know about Kevin Feeney. He's won everywhere he has gone. He got screwed out of not winning a state title with his son in 2020 when they stopped it. He's won at Fargo South. He's won at Shanley. He's won a couple of state championships when he was a player for Bismarck High, I believe. I think Kevin Feeney gets his first Prep Bowl state championship on Friday. Give me the Spuds.
Is his son the quarterback? Is it Jet?
Yes. Yep.
He's a stud.
And he's only a junior.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that their stud receiver was visiting Ohio State on Saturday.
Correct. Yeah, David Mack.
Yep.
I'm going Edina just because last weekend they were down.
Cake eater.
They were down big time. They were down big at halftime against Minnetonka. And Minnetonka's head coach now was my head coach in high school. Edina came back, got the win. Give me the Hornets to win their first ever state championship in football. So I'm going Edina.
All right. I don't think we've picked one together yet.
No.
We have not.
Ride Moorhead.
We have not.
I'm going to go Moorhead too. Their offense is absolutely just ungodly good. 3 Division I prospects. But their defense is what impressed me the most versus Lakeville South, who had just put up 49 on Maple Grove in the semis. The semis. So, the quarterfinals, excuse me. But
quarterfinals.
Yeah, it'd be the quarterfinals. But Moorhead held them. I think they held them to under 20. Their defense is starting to come around a little bit. I think Moorhead's offense is too explosive. I think they pull this out.
And you know what? Who could ever go against Moorhead?
It's fair.
Nobody.
Apparently Grant.
All right.
Nobody.
On to Saturday.
Wait, so the biggest game of the year isn't like the 6A? That's not the final game?
Nope, it's Friday night. That's the bigger night for them. It's like the late 7 p.m. kick. Saturday morning we're going to 9-man. Hills Beaver Creek versus Hillcrest Lutheran Academy.
I don't want to really ever cheer for Lutheran, so I'm going for the first team you said.
Hills Beaver Creek.
Hills Beaver Creek?
Yep. Hills Beaver Creek, baby.
Protect the Beeve, protect the Beeve, protect the Beeve. Hills Beaver Creek.
Yeah, another Southwest team. We beat them to go to state basketball our junior year, but no, I'm going to go with them. Another team that really school that just puts out good athletes.
All right.
On to the 1 o'clock kick. Waseca versus Annandale, 3A matchup.
So I'm taking the Blue Jays in Waseca, Dylan, real quick, for 2 reasons. One, again, we're sticking with South Central Minnesota, 30 minutes from Mankato. Have a lot of family and friends who have lived in Waseca. So I have some ties to the town. And also, if I'm not mistaken, some fat bitch that we don't like anymore used to work at the Annandale School District, and we don't like her. If she doesn't work anymore, that's fine. But we don't like this gal, so go Blue Jays.
You know what? That sealed it for me too. Give me the Blue Jays.
Is it bad if I'm picking Annandale because they're better? I don't know. They're freaking good.
You do whatever you want, Ethan. I'm just trying to be funny.
Oh, I agree. Last one, Class 5A, Spring Lake Park versus last year's champion and the defending champion, Chanhassen.
Ooh. Where is Spring Lake Park? Is that in the metro?
Yes, it's like northern suburbs.
North Metro, yeah.
Okay.
Like, they haven't really been good for a long time, I feel like. They came out of nowhere.
They just got good this year.
Ooh, and it's a bit of a David and Goliath matchup, is what you guys are saying, huh? Okay. Well, you know what?
Chanhassen has a good program.
Yep.
And Prince is from Chanhassen. So give me Chanhassen to go back to back.
I'm going to go with Chanhassen as well because, one, they also eliminated my high school this year. They took out Mankato West. And 2,
2 years in a row.
The coolest stadium. Yeah, 2 years in a row. The coolest high school football stadium in the state of Minnesota belongs to Chanhassen High School.
It's sick.
Interesting.
Yeah. We were there,
I'll have to look it up.
It's really cool, Dylan. So give me the Storm to go back to back.
Yeah, it's a clean sweep. If you want respect, beat the champ. So until then, roll Storm.
All right. Ethan, if you were wondering, last week we both Grant and I went 3-1 in the Dakota Bowl. So we'll see if we can match that up or have the level of success that we had that we had in North Dakota's championships. But let's wrap up the show here. What do you got for us for Curveball of the Week?
Who is it tonight?
You.
The curveball is Ethan doesn't have a curveball.
That is the curveball. I didn't know it was mine. You didn't say it.
I absolutely said it.
Did you? I didn't read it then.
Oh, what a shocker.
Let's do this. What's your favorite machine at the gym to use?
Ooh, favorite machine.
That's actually a great one on the fly.
God, maybe I just have to just not even know it's my turn, and then I'll have good ones. I don't know.
That was actually
but for the record here, let's yesterday at 8:17 a.m. record Wednesday. Ethan, you got curveball. Next week we will switch to recording on Tuesday.
Yep, that sounds about right. Yesterday was a long day. I flew for 4 hours, so.
I'm trying to think. Ooh, I would have to. It's between the hack squat machine or the fly machine. For me, I think I do like or the calf machine. Maybe it's the calf machine. Yeah.
Dylan, I like what you said on the hack squat machine, but if I want a good set of curls, I love the bar with the preacher curl, where your bicep is just isolated, and you can get a good burn there. With the easy bar too. Yeah.
I've always been a big high row guy, just way up top and just kind of. But I like the ones where you can bring it down one at a time, go every other. Those are the nice ones.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Most of them have it now, but no, some of them have just the one where it's both sides and it's actual attached to one. You can't just pull down one side, but
I don't know if my gym has that.
Most just have the cable one where it's all one.
Yeah.
But I know like Lifetime for sure has where you can go down one at a time and just back and forth. It's super nice.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that wraps up this week's episode of the Three Guys Talk About podcast. We will be back again on Tuesday, the pre-Thanksgiving episode, the rivalry week episode, which is crazy to think we are already at rivalry week when we hit record next week. Thank you guys to everybody who has tuned in, listened to us. Make sure you like, rate, subscribe, review 3GTV podcast on all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on the podcast so you don't miss when we go live. And thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.